10 Pokemon who are more powerful than Charizard. Hey everyone, let's welcome back to the Screeny. There's a few Pokemon out there that the whole world can name, including the people who don't know that much about this franchise. Charizard is one of them, and he definitely deserved his title as one of the most popular pocket monsters. He's beloved by hardcore and casual fans alike because he's an almighty creature and skilled fighter, but that doesn't make him invincible. Let's take a look at 10 Pokemon who are more powerful than Charizard. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel before we list a couple of formidable creatures who could defeat him with ease. Number 10. Golem. Golem could give Charizard a run for his money because he's a dual-type rock and ground Pokemon, which is one of the best combinations you could ask for in this case scenario. He's a pretty funny-looking fellow thanks to his tortoise-like physique, but don't let that fool you. Golem is definitely hiding a couple of tricks in that shell of his, and his moves just so happen to be super effective against Charizard. Despite the fact he's not as strong as an attacker, Golem is pretty much better in everything else than his opponent. It's also important to note that Charizard's signature moves include his Wing Attack and Fire Blast, which can't do much damage against this Pokemon. Golem's body is so hard that even Dynamite can't scratch it, so we're pretty sure that Charizard's fire would barely leave a mark. We've seen him withdraw into his shell and roll at high speeds, and it's always a blast to watch his opponents trying to make some sense of it. Number 9. Vaporeon. Charizard is a fire-type Pokemon, and using a powerful water creature to defeat him is pretty much a no-brainer. Despite the fact they're often considered as the weakest of the bunch, water types can be pretty effective if you're using them to defeat Pokemon who happen to be their polar opposite. Vaporeon is one of the best options out there, and his signature moves, including Water Gun and Hydro Pump, can be very effective at reducing the damage of Charizard's fire. This water-type Pokemon is also here to remind us it's possible to beat the most powerful opponents out there, even if you don't look the part. At first glance, Vaporeon may seem like the cutest creature on the earth thanks to his graceful and slender body shape. His light blue skin even glitters when the sunlight hits at certain angles, but he shines even brighter on the battlefield. Vaporeon is a powerful opponent everyone should fear, and not only Charizard, but he's pretty much useless against electric and grass types. Number 8. Entei. There are times when you simply have to fight fire with fire. If Charizard happens to be one of the fires in this metaphor, Entei should probably be the other. This legendary beast was one of the 3 to be revived by Ho-Oh after the burning of the Brass Tower, and he's believed to represent the flames that completely destroyed the place. The legend also says an Entei is born whenever a new volcano appears, and every time he roars, another volcano erupts somewhere in the world. It makes sense that a creature with such a rich history can defeat most Pokemon with ease. He's more resilient and powerful than Charizard, but he may be lacking a little in the defense department. That's part of the reason why he has had trouble facing rock-type creatures just like Charizard, but that doesn't make much difference when they're going head-to-head. Despite the fact Entei would come out victorious, it would be a battle worth watching, and both fighters would literally be on fire. Number 7. Tyranitar. This pseudo-legendary Pokemon is a huge threat to everyone who dares to challenge him, and Charizard wouldn't stand a chance. He is extremely weak against rock types, and Tyranitar just so happens to be one of the mightiest specimens of its kind. This dinosaurian Pokemon has a green-colored armor covering its entire body, and sharp spikes on its head, neck, and shoulders make him even more dangerous. Tyranitar isn't one of the beasts you'd want to tackle, since he's always looking for a fight and doesn't flinch at anything. His temper tantrums can even start earthquakes and demolish landscapes, houses, and mountains in their way. Confronting him is a very brave but pretty stupid move since he can resist most forms of attack. There are Pokemon out there capable of facing him, but Charizard just isn't one of them. Tyranitar possesses too many qualities that are his biggest weaknesses, and trying to challenge him would be a losing battle, especially because he completely ignores opponents he doesn't deem worthy of his time. Number 6. Raikou. Charizard is pretty vulnerable against electric types, and who better to defeat him than the legendary Raikou. He's one of the 3 beasts resurrected by Ho-Oh, just like Entei, but his backstory is a little bit different. He's believed to represent the lightning strike which ignited the fire that burnt the brass tower to the ground. Raikou has the ability to fly by creating storm clouds and often appears during thunderstorms, especially if he senses other Pokemon might be in danger. Raikou can master many moves that Charizard is vulnerable against, including Thundershock and Thunderbolt. It's safe to say the battle between these two wouldn't last for long if they cross paths, but they don't exactly move in the same circles. Raikou isn't one of those Pokemon that are extremely easy to spot, and most creatures would rather avoid facing this legendary beast anyway. Pokemon who can beat him are hard to find, and they are mostly ground types. Number 5. Zapdos. Raikou isn't the only legendary electric-type Pokemon who could beat Charizard in the blink of an eye. Zapdos also falls into this category, and their fights would be just as epic to watch, if not even more. This powerful creature is one of the 3 legendary birds of Kanto, along with Articuno and Moltres. They are all extremely dangerous opponents Charizard probably wouldn't be able to defeat, but Zapdos is the one who could give him more trouble than any of them. It's the only legendary bird who happens to be an electric type, skilled with moves that Charizard doesn't stand a chance against. Every time this Pokemon flats its glittering wings, it releases electricity that's so strong it can cause thunderstorms. Being struck by lightning can only do Zapdos good since he actually gains power this way. He thrives in conditions Charizard would rather avoid, and the legends say it even enjoys living amongst thunderclouds. Number 4. Rhydon. Going with a popular rock-type Pokemon is one of the best ways to completely destroy Charizard, and Rhydon falls under this category. His rugged hides can protect him from pretty much anything, including the heat of lava, so Charizard doesn't really stand a chance. His fire is pretty much useless against this creature since his stamina and defense levels also happen to be much higher. Rhydon is extremely powerful when compared to most Pokemon, not just Charizard. He can topple buildings with a single blow of his tail and drill right through diamonds with his sharp horn. In addition to being highly resistant to heat, his armor can also withstand a direct blow from a cannonball without a single scratch. When you put it like that, he sounds pretty invincible, but every monster has a weakness. Rhydon is pretty vulnerable to certain types of water-type Pokemon, and he would have a lot of trouble defeating some of the most powerful creatures of this kind. Number 3. Gyarados. Gyarados is one of the Pokemon even casual fans are very familiar with, since some of the trainers we grew up with had him in their collection. It's no secret picking a water-type Pokemon is one of the best ways to beat Charizard, but the pre-evolved version of this Pokemon is completely useless. Magikarp is often considered to be one of the weakest specimens of its kind, but the story of its evolution is actually based on an amazing legend. According to Asian mythology, a carpfish can turn into a dragon after jumping over a tall waterfall. It's also pretty poetic to see such a delicate creature transforming into a force to be reckoned with. Gyarados isn't really a dragon type, but it's often confused for one, and for a good reason. Despite the fact he's a water-based Pokemon, several dragon trainers used him in the past because he's capable of mastering dragon-type moves, including Dragon Rage and Dragon Breath, just like Charizard. They are different sides of the same coin, but Gyarados is still the stronger one. Number 2. Regice. Charizard's most powerful moves are fire-based, so what could he possibly do while facing a Pokemon with a deep frozen body that can't be melted? Pretty much nothing, apart from waving the white flag. The legendary Regice just so happens to be this Pokemon. He's one of the 3 Titans of Hoenn, and is the only Ice-type creature of this trio. Despite looking unbeatable thanks to his crystal-like frame, he could actually find his match with a couple of fire types, but certainly not Charizard. His entire body is made of Antarctic ice, and it couldn't even be melted if it was immersed in magma. According to legends, Regice spent thousands of years sleeping in a glacier, and his ice was formed during the Ice Age. Any Pokemon would run for the hills if they had to face him, but not Charizard. He would fly away instead. Number 1. Dragonite. Dragonite is one of the most versatile and mighty Pokemon out there, and 99% of the fans agree that he would beat Charizard in a heartbeat. He's just more powerful in every way, shape, and form, and he could only lose a battle against this rival if he refused to leave the Pokeball. It's pretty ironic their face-off would most certainly lead to Dragonite's victory, since he looks like Charizard's happy-go-lucky cousin. They both have orange skin and a set of turquoise-looking wings, but they still don't even fall under the same category. Contrary to popular belief, Charizard isn't a dragon type, unlike Dragonite. In addition to being a powerful fighter, this kind-hearted Pokemon has a human-like intelligence, which can come in handy on the battlefield as well. His ability to inner focus allows him to keep from flinching in a battle and keep his head in the game at all times. This means he's not only effective against Charizard, but most Pokemon who come his way, and we've seen him defeat several tough opponents along the way. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content, and don't forget to check out one of the other 2 videos on your screen.